Good evening, viewers. My name is Dennis Bay. I deal with a lot of ICT stuff, and in this video, I'm about to engage you in a paper that was recently released by the Cambridge Igcse. This is year 11 work, Information and Communication Technology, paper 3, which is consists of spreadsheets and website authoring. This paper was done in May/June 2024. It takes 2 hours, approximately 2 hours 15 minutes. So a student should be very, very fast in handling the task and be very accurate at the same time, because if you miss the instructions, again, the formulas will not be up to par. So these are the instructions for the paper. If you do the entire, the total marks for this paper is 70 marks, and they are well marked and shown in brackets. So the first task here, we have been supplied with the following source files. These are the source files. They are quite a number. But if I'm doing Excel, I'll be interested in this one, the comma separated value, and also Splendid, the comma separated values. The rest, JPG, PNG, JPG, CSS, those are, and even text file. This one is for the website design. The task is as clear as this. You will assist some marine biologists in analyzing data on and raising awareness of the splendid toadfish. This is an endangered species only found in the reefs of Cozumel, Mexico. So the first task here is to create an evidence document. Create a new word processed document. Make sure your name, center number, candidate number will appear on every page of this document. And then you're supposed to save it using this format. They're going to be the file name, underscore, and then followed by your center number and candidate number. For example, they've put it here. So to create an evidence document, you simply open Microsoft Word. You wait for it to open. There it has opened. And then they talked about you make sure that your name appears on every page. So that can be a header or a footer. So if you're here and you want to put a header and footer, what you need to do is simply go to Insert, and then you go to a place called Header. I always advise my students to use the second one, which has got 3 options. So here you can put your name nicely, type it using the capital rule, underscore, the center number depending on the center where you're doing the exam, and then underscore, and then your index number. Let's say I'm index 26. So if there is no any other thing to be placed, remove, discard whatever is there, and there it is. Then we were told to save it in a particular format. So I'll go to File, then I say Save As, and then you have to save it in a particular place. Let's say I want to save it in my documents. So the format they gave us was the underscore, and then it was 0471 underscore. I was index 026. So in that format, and make sure that the save as type is matching the environment you are, which is docs. So it will be under docs. So you click on save. So I've already prepared. Then you close the head and footer. So my evidence document is ready. So I can just put this in advance evidence. So it will be depending on the question that will be placed. So you minimize that. Okay. You will use this as your evidence document during the examination. It's very important your name and the center number and candidate number to appear. Then they're telling us to open the file J2431divers.csv. This file will be used in step 2. Do not make any changes. Open and examine the file J2431splendid.csv, comma separated value in spreadsheet. And then these 2 files must be open, which I've already done. They're here. So this is the Splendid J2431 splendid.xlsx. So I think it looks like this is going to be the main file. I can see there's something missing here. The type of something is missing here. The other file, let me check the other file, what it is all about. This is going to be the external file. but I can see the columns are not fitting the columns are not fitting very well. So students are normally taught that if you click up here between the upper part between row A and 1, column A and row 1, there's an empty box here. If you click here and then you double tap between any cell, it will expand the column so that the text fits and the labels fits well. The values and the labels fit very well so that you can see everything. So it looks like the external file that you are going to use. It has got the names in column A, years of diving, which is the experience, column B, and the job designation. Job designation is the type of job that you are employed to do. I can see, and this is what is missing on the main file. So if I open the main file, which is this one here, I can see the names are there, yes. The dates they were assigned to do the task is here. And this thing is very long. I can see it's a long document. And then the type is missing. Yet the type, I've seen the type of the job description is found on the external file, whether you are a marine biologist, instructor, you're a diver, dive master, you're a driver, you are what? All those options are there. So let me see what the question is asking. So rows 9 to 32 will show the number of sightings of the splendid stored-fish on each reef for 1 week. That is row 9 and 32. What are they talking about? Row 9 here to 32. 32 is 32. 32. You can see some of them are not there. I think they are hidden. So what I'll do, I'll just click here and then I remove, I say select all, then I click OK. Okay, this data should not be there in the first place. Let's say all this data in the exam, it was empty. I think I was just previewing it before we open. So up to 32. And then the other thing they're going to talk about is, where are we? Okay, up to there. Place your name and center number. So they're talking about place your name, center number, and candidate number on the left. Place your name, candidate number, left align in the footer. Left align, center number, your name, and everything. So they start with the name, center name, and then candidate number, left align. So in Excel, that is the main file. This is Excel. There are so many ways of doing it. You can either come to File, you come to Print, you come to Page Setup, and then you come to, so they talked about footer, custom footer. So where are they talking about? So on the footer here, they are talking about to be put on the left align. So where is Excel? So where are we? So if I'm here, left align. So my name is Dennis Bay _ the 0471 was my candidate number, and then 026 was my index number. Then I click on, you click on OK. So that one you have already done. We have already tackled the footer. The next question is they're talking about place an automated file name with no file path on the right of the footer. So this file should be saved in Spreadsheet. So I need to save it first before I can do the file name. So what I'll do, I'll come back to Splendid here. Then let me click OK. Let me save it. Save as. Also, I'm saving it in my documents. And they have told us it should be Splendid. And then we save it as an Excel file. So let me save it in my documents as an Excel file. So if I click save, so it has been saved. So I'll click OK. So the XLS means I've saved it in the work environment I'm dealing with. So what else are they talking about? Okay, save the file followed by, hey, there's a mistake I've done. Most students normally do this kind of mistake. It should have been in the format. So I'll come to File, Save As. So still on this PC, Then I save it on my documents. I was supposed to come here, and then I remove. After Splendid, I put underscore 0471, the candidate number, and then the index number 26 in that format, so that it reflects the candidate is doing it. And remember, I'm saving it under Excel. So if I click save, now that's correct. Now that's the right format of saving. So it's important for students to check that, because it's easier for you to forget, so that you get your 2 marks. And then they said place an automated file name with no file path on the right of the footer. So still on the Excel. So I'll still come to file, print, where's the page setup, and then still on the footer, custom footer. They said on the is it on the right side? You have to check. You have to be very on the right side, right? So there on the right side, they wanted the file name without the file path. So I'll come here, insert the file path, insert the file name without the file path. So I'll just put that. Then I click on OK. So if I click OK here, so I can see down here there is the file name without the file path, and these the details for the exam. So I'll go back there. I've already tackled that. We proceed. Now the main task: place a replicable formula in cell 35 to look up the type of divers. To look up for the type of divers using their name. So the task is to look for the type of divers using their name and the external file for the array. So we are going to check using this external file to get the type of divers to correspond with their name. And the type of divers is found on the external file. And then replicate this formula for all the divers. So this one, when you see such a kind of task, it means they are asking us to look at Vlookup. And Vlookup function is a pre-made function in Excel which allows searches across columns. Columns, they go vertically. Yeah, not horizontal. They go vertically. The V stands for vertical. It is typed $Vlookup. And then it has got the following parameters. As I'm going to do it, you'll find it has got the Vlookup value, which is going to be the name, and then it's going to have the table array, which is going to be on the external file, and then it's going to have the column index. On the column index also is on the external file, but now we are going to check the type of divers is found on which column, and then we are going to understand how it's done. So back to Excel. So in Excel here, they said cell C35. C35 is here. You have to be very accurate. So they are telling us these are the names of the biologists. The date they are assigned to do the task is here. Now they want us to go to the external file and look for the type of job they were doing on that particular date. The job they have been given, because this is the site where they were doing their experiment, or taking the photos and the global GPS, global positioning services. So some of them were using photography as well as the GPS. So they want us to put a formula. So I'll use the formula by here. I'll type here =vlookup. How do you vlookup? Open the bracket. So when you start a formula, these brackets, they guide you so well. If you are a good student, this should guide you very, very well. So what is the lookup value? The lookup value selects the cell where the searches value will be entered. But in our case here, the lookup value is the name of the biologist. So I'll take this one here. So this is going to be the lookup value in the main file here. So I want this one here to go and check on the external file, the names which are on the external file. And the lookup value is placed on the external, it's always placed on the left side. Yeah, remember that the name, this name, when you go to the external file, you will find it's the one that starts on the left side. So this is the lookup value. And then to separate the argument, you put a comma. And then after that, it is asking you for the table array. And now it's good to understand that table array is the range including all the cells in the table from the external file. So I'll go to the external file, which is now here. So if you look here, the names, which I was telling you, is always the one starts. It's on the left side. So the entire list here is the table array. How do you select a table array without having problems? Don't select the column headings. These are just the column headings. Start from row 2. So click here and remember to press Control Shift. While holding Control and Shift, use the right arrow key to take you to the edge towards the right. Still Control Shift, press the down arrow key. Arrow keys are 4 of them. So down means pointing down, pointing south. So if I press this, it only selects the area which has got values and labels. So it has selected for me. Control, Shift, and the arrow key. The right one to take you to the far end, towards the right. The one facing down will take you to the last. So that is the table array. So let me put a comma again for this. That's the second argument is done. The third argument now is what is called the column index. The data which is being looked up. The input is the number of the column counted from the left. So what were we looking for? We are looking for the type of marine because the names are here. The name starts. This is column 1. Column 2 is the years of diving. Column 3, which is what we are looking, is called the column index number, is column 3. So you need to put 3. You just type 3 from the keyboard because this is what we are interested in to look up. 3. And then to finish the argument, again, you put another column. And then there are 2 things that appear, whether it is an approximate match or an exact match. In most cases, it's good for us to go with the exact match. So exact match, for an exact match, there are 2 options here. You can either put 1 or 0. 0 is for an exact match, which is false, and 1 is approximate match. What I'm trying to say, exact match will check even the spelling, the capital and everything. So I'll go with exact match. So I can decide to type here and double click here. Or if I don't want to remove this false, I type 0. It will match with that one. So let me just go with false, which is 0. Then I press what? I close this. So if I press enter, it should be able to check the names on the other side and match it with this type of job they do. So if I press enter, I'm back here. So it's telling me that this biologist called Lobo is a dive master. I need to counter check to see if my formula is correct because I can see the formula is up here. So I'll go to the external file and look for this guy called Lobo. I know Lobo is not here. Lobo is here. Yeah, it is. He's a dive master. So it seems the formula is working. So what I'll need to do is to replicate it there I was told. So replicate, you can double tap here so that it does it automatically. So it is good to do a random check. Let's say, for example, somebody by the name Gustavo. Gustavo, they're saying, is a marine biologist. So let us check on the external file if it is true. Gustavo is a marine biologist. It has picked. Last one, Lisa. Lisa is an instructor. Let's check on the main file if the formula brought it. Lisa. So I check the name here, Lisa. The list is a bit long. Lisa is an instructor. Yeah, it is working because on the other side also, on the external file, Lisa is an instructor. So that is how the formula works. So once you have done this, it will be able to, you'll be able to check if the formula is displaying. And this is what you're going to do. You'll go to formulas and then you go to show formula. You click on show formulas. So then you double tap here to check your formulas. So I think that one has already been worked on well. You can also hide this column, show formula. So all that is done. That is Vlookup, vertical lookup. We were looking for the corresponding files in the external file. So that is how you use the vertical lookup. The next thing we are going to do is to check the question paper and see. So we place in cell B3 a formula to count the total number of sightings for 7 days. The 7 days those people are in the field, put a formula that can count. So when you come to the main file, which is this one here, we have got this is the place where they want us to put count. So the formula they're talking about is called count. But if I say count counts the number of cells in a range that contains numbers. But I'm not sure whether some are numbers and others are labels or text. Yeah. So I'll use counter. So counter counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. And then I open the bracket and then I select. They told me in this place here, I can choose any. So I can take from here all the way up to down here. And then I close the bracket. So if I press enter, it gives me how many people are there? 41. 41. So all those are 41. So the number of sightings that were done, where are the number of sightings? I could have used the number of sightings, which are the reefs, but any can give you, because it's from here, from 35 all the way to row 75. That will give you 41 different biologists in different sites. And then they're telling us here, number of sightings with photographs. Number of sightings with photographs. So here, I'll come and say, count if. So count if will meet a given condition. So I'll come and select. So the range, they're asking me for the range. So the range, number of sightings with photograph, it's from here to here, these two, and then you go down up to there. Up to where? I could have used the magic that I was telling you, Control Shift and the arrow keys. So up to there. And then you put, after that, you put a comma. The criteria they're asking us, is the criteria is going to be if it has what is called yes photograph. So let me type exactly that it is capital like this, and then I put the inverted this one, and then I close. So I want to check in that range if I'm going to have those people with that used photographs. So if I press enter, only 34 biologists used photograph. So if you count the number of yes here, there are 34 because there are several no's. So let us see how many no's are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7. And you remember that the total were 41. So if I do a basic calculation here, 41 minus 7. What will I have? I'll have 34, which is already here. So the criteria gave me the right. And then the next question here, they're asking number of sightings with photos. Number of sightings with photos and GPS. Hey, this is tough. So this one, they want to see those biologists who used photos and also used what? GPS. Number of sightings with, those are how many conditions? There are 3. So we're going to use what is called COUNTIFS with an F, so that we have got multiple conditions that you can argue. So I select like this, and then the criteria range 1. The criteria, there's photos and GPS. So those are 2 conditions, photos and GPS. So I'll come down here. I take for photos first. That is the range up to there. And then I put the condition. The condition I want it to be yes, like this. And then I put another comma. So the second criteria, they want to know those people used GPS also. So I can also select. In fact, I'm using the wrong way of selecting. This is very cumbersome if you don't have a mouse. You just simply click here, Control Shift and down arrow key. That's very easy. Then you come also here, you put a comma, and then you put the inverted whatever. Then you type yes, capital Y, yes, like this. I'm getting my keyboard is giving me problem with this. Okay, and then now you can close the bracket. So if you press enter, now let's see, there are only 30 number of sightings. So the next question, they are talking about number of sightings. Number of sightings. Let's see where what the question is talking about. So we have done this where photograph was taken, and also we have done where the photograph was taken in the GPS, and then place a replicable formula in B9 to display the number of sightings at the reef where photography with GPS was taken. Photography and GPS was taken. Place a replicable formula to display the number of sightings at this reef where photography and GPS was taken. Replicate the formula for each reef. So that's a very complicated question. You have to be well versed. So here they're talking about COUNTIFs. COUNTIFs, then I open the bracket. So criteria range. Criteria range is going to be the sites plus all that. Okay, I'll start with the first one because now they want the sites. So Control Shift, Control Shift, and this I take. That's the first condition. So the first condition is there, and then I place my comma, and then the criteria should match this one here. I see, but this one now we have to convert all this into absolute cell reference, not relative reference. So I'll come and do that later, and then I put a comma. The second criteria, the second criteria range, I think I'm done with that one. So the second criteria range, they want to see where photography was used. So Control Shift and this, and then my criteria here will be yes, photography was used, and then I put a comma. The third argument is going to be the last one here. GPS, was GPS used? Control Shift and this, and then also here my criteria should be yes, photography was used. So I close this, and then I close the bracket. But now I have to make this range to be absolute cell reference so that it will be able to capture the data nicely. So you put the $sign, and then also here you put the $sign. It's a bit cumbersome if you're using the keyboard for a laptop. $sign, and also here you put the $sign to make the range to be absolute cell reference so that it can be able to capture the data to be replicable. And then also the last one, you have to be very, very accurate. You come here, I'm using Shift 4 to get the $sign. And then the last one, which is this one here, there are so many conditions which are there on the formula. This F35, so I'm sandwiching the $sign. So even here, $sign, and then I also include the $sign like that. So I made it not a relative formula, but absolute cell reference. So if I press enter, there is a big problem somewhere. Where is that? It is with my $sign. That sign, $sign E, $sign 35. Oh, it's the $sign which I did not put nicely. $sign, and also here should be $sign. You have to be very, very keen. So if I press enter, good. So up in Maracaibo, only one was used here. So the condition, it meets the condition. So I replicate it down up to here, up to down here. It will give you some areas, some sites, they never use the photography or GPS. But here I can see 2, 1. So it's giving us the accuracy using the COUNTIF. Now, the next question from the Cambridge paper was, we have done that. The formatting we can do later so that it looks like exactly like this. There was a place where they had asked something. We have done that. Let me see down here. Select row 1 to inclusive where citing took place. Take a screenshot. Select this area where citing took place, 9 to 32. Take a screenshot to show the method used. Only to show only rows between that citing took place. So it means there are some areas which citing never took place. So from select row 1 to row 8. So let us go back and see what the argument is. They are telling us from 1 to 8, from row 1 to row 8, where citing took place. Okay, that is what they wanted. But now, the big question that I'm seeing here, between row 9 and 35, where citing took place. 9 to 35, where citing took place. From 9 to 35, they want to see where citing took place. Where there is 0, they don't want to see these zeros. So there's this a bit of filtering. They're trying to test us on filtering. So you need to select from here all the way to 35. There are two methods of doing it. So you can go to data after selecting this, and then you go to filter. So when you click filter, it will give you this marks here. So if I click here, and then I remove only 0, it means I'll be left with all the rest which are having citings. But that is not a brilliant way of doing it. The best way of doing it is I can come here, and then I go to a place called filter, number filter, and then I say greater than. Greater than what? Anything greater than 0. So it's greater than, not greater than or equal to, but greater than 0. So this is what I should be able to filter and take an evidence document that I've done my work. So if I click OK, it has eliminated areas which they never used the photography and the GPS. But how do you prepare that kind of evidence, that the method you used? You come back there to filter greater than or equal to, so you put it here, and then you take a screenshot of this area. So to take a screenshot, in our case, we are going to use window key, shift and S to be able to get a nice snap, and then you can take plus the row headings and the column headings. So this is what you're going to put. This question, which question was this now? So if you come here, take a screenshot. So this question 9. So if you go to your evidence document, so evidence 9 for question 9, you can press Ctrl V. You already have that. That's how you prepare evidence document. Any other evidence document that I could not have highlighted should also be done like that. But the main concept that I was trying to deal with was how to use the Vlookup and how to use the COUNTA, COUNTIF, and COUNTIFS. So this was a very good paper. Students should be able to scoop marks in this kind of formatting, because formatting, if you're good in Microsoft Word, this one should not be a problem. Merging, changing the font size, alignment. You can see this is all this. They are right aligned. Number of sites, all this. These three, and these are centered. So if you check here, if I come back, let me just click OK. If I come back, all of this, you go to home, they're supposed to be right aligned. These ones here, they're supposed to be centered. This one here, up to here, they're supposed to merge, and then increase the size. the size, what they were talking about, the size. The font in size row 1 to 22. Set the font size of the text. Okay. They have not told me row 1 to 22 points. Okay, so it is 22 points. So this one here I should increase it to 22. They have not told me the font type, but I can make it bold. And then I'm seeing they have put, there is no line on the end here. And then row 2 is a bit small, and row 6 is also small. So let me deal with row 2 and row 6. So row 2, you put the cursor here and then you decrease the size. Same to row 6. You can decrease the size like that. And then the borders they put here was, if you right click, you go to what is called format cells. And then format cells, you have got borders. So you take a line. Which kind of line are they using? How big is it? It's not that big. It was this one here. You put it on the top. You select this one. You put it on the, you can put it on the top, bottom, and this side. And then you click OK. So you have got this kind of line. You can still peruse number of sites. All this I can see there's a line going downwards. So these ones, the lines are there up to GPS. So what you do there, you come to Excel here, from here up to GPS. Did they take also the, no, they never took that. So here what you do, you simply play with the borders. Right click, format cells. There are so many ways of doing it. And then when you're on borders here, you can put one here, one here, one here, another one there. Then you click OK. So you have that kind of whatever. And then I saw the line going up to where? It's good to be very keen here. Up to tune, location, all these, they have lines. But tune doesn't have a line downwards. So, and where is that tune? To 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there are some that are hidden because of the formatting that we did. We could have done that before the formatting. But that is basically how you play around with Excel. So I'll be able to do the web design in another video. I hope you have understood the vertical lookup, the COUNTIF, COUNTIFs, and COUNTA in handling this kind of paper. So it was a very good paper for students to be able to tackle. I'll meet you in another for the formatting part that I never handled very well. Thank you so much for watching. This is my first video, and I'll be uploading more, which are going to be very more accurate and articulate. Thank you.